I'm going to use Inventor now to do a little bit of logo design, or what could be applied to logo design, and I'm going to create my initials in 3D that I could maybe use in advertising or to manufacture little promotional items or something. So it's quite a useful exercise. I'm going to go File, New, Metric and Standard Millimeter Part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to do a sketch. So start my 2D sketch on one of my vertical planes. These are my work planes. I'm choosing one of those. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Now I'm going to do a line using the line tool, and I'm going to click in the middle, and I'm going to drag out, not worrying about the measurement, and click. And now I'm going to right click to cancel my line production. All right. Now I'm going to give that line a specific distance of 100 millimeters. All right. Now, you're probably wondering why I've drawn a line. If I'm talking about doing my initials, which will be M and T, why have I drawn that line? And I'm actually going to use that as a guideline, because in virtual space, in 3D modeling, you could be working at 100 kilometers, or you could be working at 100 microns. The computer doesn't really care. So this means that I know that that is a 10 centimeter or 100 millimeter space. All right. Now, I don't want that to appear in any of my extrusions or anything like that, so I'm going to turn that into a construction line. So it's a bit like if you were doing a technical drawing or something, you would lay out some very fine lines to help you position things. I'm using my construction line to help me position and to size my object. All right. And I'm going to turn that normal line into a construction line. So if you look at what I do, if I hover over it to select it and then right click, oh, hang on, sorry, click on it first and then right click, because I'm still in the dimensioning process. If I right click on my line, I get the option of turning it into a construction line. Okay. And that now won't extrude or won't come through as part of the 3D model. It's just there. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use the straight line tool. And I would like you only to use the straight line tool for this, is to do my initials. Now I know that that's 100 wide, which means that each of these is going to be about 50 millimeters wide. So I'm going to do an M, and we'll do what you lot call bubble writing. We'll make it 3D. You'll notice little lines pop up as I draw. So for example, at the moment I've got one running up here. That shows that I'm actually, my dot is vertically below the other one. That's really useful as a guide when you're drawing. Okay, I'm going to click to position that. Now to stop drawing lines, I'm going to right click and cancel. Right, so there's my M shape. Let's have a look at that. Let's see if that's any good. Be alright. Okay, now I'm going to use my line tool again, and this time I'm going to do a T, deliberately keeping it quite stylized and straight liney. Okay, if you're doing something like an S, it might cause you a few more problems, but there's my M and my T. Now if I don't like a line, I think what I'm going to do today, I'm going to just delete lines, and we'll make that a little bit chunkier. So I selected it and then pressed delete on the keyboard there. Right click, cancel. Okay, that's a little bit more dynamic. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so I've finished my sketch, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it into a 3D object. So if I finish that sketch, okay, it's ready now for extruding. So I can either right click, extrude, or I can select it up at the top. So right click, extrude, and then hovering over brings up the profile. I'm going to do both of them. So to select both, you click on the inside of the profile for both. Okay, and then I can choose how much to bring it out by. Looks to me like 20 might be a pretty decent size. Alright, so there's now my MT 3D, and what you'll notice is that my construction line isn't anywhere to be seen there. Right, now if I went, oh actually that's a little bit thick, remember I can come back into my feature in the model tree on the left, and I can go, right, that extrusion was too big. I'm going to right click and I'm going to edit that feature. Right, so 20mm was too big, so I can either pull it in by hand. Let's do 10, shall we? So I can either put my quick entry in here, I can do it over in my extrusion box, or I can drag it. And then I'm going to green tick that. That's now applied. Right, now what I might just try is to use a new tool called the fillet tool. All right, and the fillet tool will add a bit of curve to it. So I'm going to use that fillet tool there. Just to see what options I get. Yeah, if I right click in the object in the window, I actually get the option of filleting. Okay, and what I can do is I can give it a radius, and this is worth experimenting with. It's going to be about 2 at the maximum for this. And then click on a line. Okay, click on another line. It was having a bit of a think then for some reason. And you can see that I don't like that as it's too much, it's taken too much of it. So I'm going to cancel. I'm going to come back into filleting again, and I'm just going to choose a couple of lines. Because when I did 2mm at the bottom, I kind of lost my point a little bit, and I didn't like that. And I'm going to just rotate. Remember, I'm holding down the middle mouse button whilst holding the shift key, and I'm going to put a fillet under there, and a fillet under there. Okay, it might be, whilst I'm doing it, worth just trying a fillet in each of those as well. Okay, so I've now got a bunch of fillets, and it's just softened off my shape a little bit. Makes it look a little bit nicer. Alright, so that was using the extrude tool on a profile. Let's just go back into my sketch so I can remind you. If I right click on my extrusion and edit sketch, there's my construction line, which was 100. I use the straight line tool to random or roughly create my shape. Okay, I think what I might, yeah, that's fine. Good luck with that.